Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Yes, we are about to get started. And I'm here with the distinct pleasure to co-MC with the Dr. Rashid Ivy. I heard about this a couple weeks ago. I tried to grow my beard out a little bit. Dr. Ivy, tell me about yourself.
All right, real quick. Some people know this already, but I am a product of Saturday Science Academy. Give it up for Saturday Science Academy. Many moons ago, my mother had to beat me to come. I'm glad she did. I'm from Compton, grew up right down the street from here. Went to school here in Compton. My parents worked in the city. Biggest thing is I got away from it, but the seed that was planted by being here at Saturday Science is what spurred me to go ahead and go to medical school. I finished medical school, did residency in anesthesia, and I just finished a subspecialty fellowship in regional anesthesia and acute pain. Started my own practice. I wouldn't be here without parents like y'all and these people sitting in these rows right here, and that's just keeping it all the way real and taking the spotlight off myself and just acknowledging the shoulders that I'm standing on for this. So give yourselves a round of applause, and I appreciate everybody for what you're doing.
Yeah, Dr. Rashid, man, it's unique, and I'm attorney Jai Person Lynn. I was a parent here in Saturday Science Academy. From Inglewood, California, really the second district, moved around a lot, but it's unique because when I went to college, I always thought I was from the inner city. Then I went to college and they were like, a suburb is defined as a small municipality outside of a major metropolitan. And a municipality has its own mayor, its own police department, and it's like, dang, I'm from the suburbs. I didn't know that. But I accepted it, I tell you, but brothers from Compton hate hearing that, but you're from the burbs too, so just in case you didn't.
We got our own mayor.
But I say that to say it's unique. I'm a criminal defense attorney, he's a doctor, and so we deal in a doctor in anesthesia. And so that's like dealing with drugs. So we deal in drugs and crime from Compton and Inglewood. But yeah, it's wild, right? So maybe they realize you don't have to take a penitentiary chance to do that if that's what you want to do. But it's amazing to be here. But we're about to bring in the reason that we came, and those are our white coat recipients, our students, the people that you all get up 5 days a week and then again on Saturday, and then if you go to church again on Sunday. So these 7-day-a-week parents out here, give yourselves a round of applause for your whole support system. This is amazing. So now we are gonna have our processional. Our students are gonna come in. You know, I think we're playing the typical music. Just based on the one I wanted to hear some of the elements today. We just got come on, I'm sorry. I know we're here for the doctor, but you kind of like the scientist with the music, so let's give it up for the good brothers from Earth, Wind, and Fire. There you are. I just couldn't. I tried. Yes, I tell you, it's a good thing we here in this part of the country right now. Because if not, we're doing this on Zoom. But we're ready to bring our students in, and our future scientists, our future doctors. Just imagine, most of us grew up in an analog world, and then we inherited the digital world, and look where we're going. So imagine what these children are going to do growing up in the AI age, and everything, how far they're going to take it. But luckily, you know, the human body, you still gonna need a human, I think, to work on, right? Still gonna have people, it's not gonna be a bunch of bots, people to add your teaching people how to work. But here we go, I see them coming in, bright-eyed, with yellow shirts.
Do you think lining is gonna help? Has lining ever helped?
Here we go.
Uh-huh.
Get on our feet, bringing these students, talking about how much we love them. all be seated. Let's give it up again for our students. Let them know how much we love them. It's not just the students. They don't just come and teach themselves. They're guided by current medical students and college students who are out there. So let's give it up to the teachers. They're here on Saturdays too. And we have a program. I'm actually, unfortunately, going to have to cut out a little school for another event that I had to get to dealing with the criminal penal system. So it was kind of important I'd be there. But I wanted to come here first. I always love doing this. I'm amazed and honored every time I get the call or the text. But the reason why I love it so much is because you look out in the audience, you look at the children, the staff, and this is truly the best of what this nation has to offer. We have representatives from all continents, from several different countries, from all over these United States of America, coming together so we can uplift all of humanity. And I can just feel it, the cure for cancer, the cure for AIDS, it's right here in this room somewhere for these children. And it's just amazing. And with institutions like this, it'd be amazing if one day we didn't need diversity, equity, and inclusion, but I know we've always had it here, and that is why we've done so much and so many great things in this community and far beyond. But this is the dream. We're here in this amazing school named for Dr. King and Dr. Charles Drew, and I can imagine this is the dream realized, so it's amazing. So I had to come here, upset a few people, but it's all right. It's all right. Y'all just pray for me on that 110, and I'm gonna be okay. But next we're gonna have our opening prayer by Victoria Rodriguez. Victoria Rodriguez.
Hello, my name is Victoria Rodriguez. Please join me in a moment of prayer to begin our ceremony. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thine will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
God, let's give it up again for Ms. Rodriguez. Man, it's not easy coming up here, seeing all you wonderful people and just speaking. And especially for scientists, you know, they don't really have to deal with big crowds. They're like one-on-one. But we're here. Next up, we have Ms. Kaimari Taylor. Here for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good morning. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. My name is Kaimari Taylor, and I have the honor of leading the pledge today. Ready? Please put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, Dr. Ivy. Now, next up, we have some amazing people, and I'm sure our next speaker will point out some of the wonderful people we have. But since we're bringing up a doctor, why don't you bring up this next doctor?
All right, so we're gonna So first of all, we got some leaders of institutions in here. And again, like Jai was speaking of, diversity, equity, and inclusion. These are the pillars that I stand on and that these children that are here will stand on and have an opportunity to do what they want to do in life. So this person is really near and dear to my heart since I was a medical student here. And just a quick little blurb, when I first met him and actually had a real conversation with him, I had met him, but I hadn't talked to him. I was still riding my motorcycle to school. The reality was my truck was down, so I had to ride my motorcycle. So I had came here, and I'm in the parking lot. What I used to do is try to park away or not take my helmet off until people that I knew would have something to say to me walked away. So I bring my bike, and I don't know where this individual came from, but he appeared like Batman. It was like pulling off my helmet, and I saw his hand, and I was like, so I shake his hand, it's Dr. Carlisle. That's who I'm bringing up. And he's the president of Charles Archer University. Also was the medical czar for Spa 6. So that's a big deal. So, you know, I'm a little shaking in my boots because I'm like, man, I know what he about to tell me, don't ride a motorcycle. And I'm gonna have to tell him my truck down. So I'm like, man, I hope I don't have to do that. First thing he says is, I like your helmet. I said, oh, that's cool. But you know, it's always a sweet before the sour. So I was like, what he about to tell me? I'm a doctor, right? So he says, come by my office and see mine. And I said, what? He said, yeah, stop by my office and see mine. I said, you got a helmet in your office? So I already knew then. I said, he's cool. I like him a lot. I ain't about to get the speech. But he used to race cars. And so I told everybody I knew how cool that was. And I'm like, stop telling me I can't ride my motorcycle. The president of my medical school, who's a doctor, said he liked my helmet. So that was all I needed, right? So, you know, without further ado, I'm gonna bring up somebody who I've watched for many years, who's been near and dear to my heart and my family's heart, and that's Dr. David Carlisle.
I would just say, Rashid, I hope you're not riding a motorcycle anymore. If they have 4 wheels, it's good. 2 wheels is a problem. I want to recognize everyone who is here with us today, starting with Principal Reginald Brookins from the Kingswood High School. You know, this school is a great partner of our university, and it's a great institution. Look at all these championship banners around us. This is amazing. And I know there are going to be more and more and more in the future. The truth is, just about every graduate of this high school is going to college. Many are going into careers in the sciences and healthcare. So this is a real bright light here in South Los Angeles. I want to recognize other leaders from our university who are here. Our board chair, John Bacchus. Our vice chair, Scott Weingarten. Also from the university, we have our provost, Jose Torres Ruiz. Our general counsel, John Patton. We have 2 of our deans, Dr. Deborah Prothero-Stiff from the College of Medicine. And Dr. Leah Fitzgerald from the College of Nursing. And I don't know what title to bestow upon him. He has so many hats that he wears, including heading the advisory council for the Saturday Science Academy. That's probably the most important thing, right? So let me introduce Dr. Ellaby Washington. But most important are the young people. But even before we get to the young people here this morning, let's just recognize all the family members who are here with us. people wouldn't be here without them. You heard Dr. Ivy talking about his mother and how she, I'll just say, motivated you to be here. Yeah. It's hard to get out here early on a Saturday, and these parents do it. They're here with their young people. But we're here because of all the young people wearing yellow and gold. Thank you all for being here. This is indeed the future. You'll hear these people, these young boys and girls, being introduced as doctor. This is a really auspicious occasion. I'm looking forward to shaking their hands. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our faculty from the Saturday Science Academy. Many of them are medical students at CDU, and we would not be here without them. Thank you all very much. And one other shout out, we've had Earth, Wind, and Fire on this campus, I think maybe 2 or 3 or 4 times. 4 times, yes. So thank you very much for being with us today. Enjoy the program. We're going to leave very proud of these young people in just a little while. Thank you.
All right, and I'm about to have to head out, but before that, I just want to say that as tired as you all may be as parents, just understand that most people sitting here in the front in the white coats, those of us standing here, it was only the investment of our elders, our parents, our community that got us to where we are today. And so we can talk about Roth IRAs, we can talk about crypto, but the investment in these youth is the greatest investment that any of us can make in our lifetimes. So thank you again. Dr. Ivy and I go back. I believe it was this program where we met, but we became friends and hung out, and yeah, he drives big trucks and motorcycles, more proof he's from the burbs. But we also became fathers like right around the same time. I have 2 3-year-olds, same mother. He has a 3 and a 2-year-old, same mother. And 2022, 23, there was a lot going on. There was a lot going on. But so we're here now, but you can expect us to either probably still be here, but have our little ones in the program, because sports is important and we love playing sports, but even the greatest athletic career is, about 20 years max, save for LeBron James. And even it's the doctors that keep our athletes going. And so no matter what, whatever you get into, the people in this room are gonna keep this world moving. So with that said, we will have Efiose Abraham coming up for the Martin Luther King speech, followed by Jaden Long for the Dr. Charles R.
I was a well-known civil rights activist who had a great deal of influence on American society in the 1950s and the 1960s. My strong belief in nonviolent protest helped set the tone of the movement. I became the predominant leader in the civil rights movement to end racial segregation and discrimination. Boycotts, protests, and marches were eventually effective, and much legislation was passed against racial discrimination. Who am I? I am Martin Luther King Jr.
Confidence there. Next we have for the Dr. Charles R. Drew speech, Jaden Long.
I was a famous American physician, surgeon, and medical researcher. I'm greatly remembered for my outstanding innovations and research in blood transfusions. My innovative techniques for better blood storage and research of blood transfusions is what helped me save thousands of lives during World War II. My innovations revolutionized the medical profession and inspired many to follow my path. I was a director for Blood for Brave, the first blood bank project organized in the year 1940 to help British civilians and soldiers. I also served as the director for the American Red Cross Blood Bank, which I also established. I am referred to as the father of the blood bank. Who am I? Charles R. Drury.
And next we have Miguel Mina for the Cesar Chavez speech.
I was an American labor leader and Latino American civil rights activist. Along with Dolores Huerta, I co-founded the National Farm Workers Association, later renamed the United Farmers UFW Union. I was born in Arizona to a Mexican-American family. I began my working life as a manual laborer and spent 2 years in the United States Navy. When I relocated to California, I got involved in the community service organization, through which I helped laborers register to vote. I became the best-known Latino American civil rights activist and was strongly promoted by the American labor movement. I was known as the Martin Luther King Jr. for Latinos. Who am I? I am Cesar Chavez.
Amazing. And so this will be my final time on the mic as Dr. Ivy will take over and let you know that it's not just lawyers that can speak eloquently.
I'm gonna do my best.
Well, yeah, the best part, please help them when it comes to the names of the students, please help. But to all the children out there, just understand, if you never get any taller than 5'3" and 3/4", you can still make a big impact on this world. Don't worry about it. Next up, we have our keynote speaker, Dr. Vincent Rowe.
We'll introduce him. I'm trying to make Jai proud before he leaves real quick. So he doesn't think of me as just a scientist. I can talk a little bit. So Dr. Rowe is an acclaimed clinician, researcher, and educator. He is a professor of surgery and chief of vascular and endovascular surgery. He is a member of the American Surgical Association and a distinguished fellow of the Society for Vascular Surgery, where he serves as the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Chair. We're all very, very happy to have you here. Please come up and give us your keynote.
Hey, thank you very much. It's truly an honor to be here. I want to thank Dr. Washington for the invitation. And, I'm just really inspired to see what's happening. Living in Los Angeles all my life, I never knew this program took part. And so I'm so happy now to finally become a part of it, even in these later stages of my career. I'll still take it. And I'm just so proud of all the young people that have already decided that they want a field in healthcare. They want to move that way. Doctor, nurse, radiation, technician, dental, pharmacy, whatever it is. Healthcare is a wonderful field. Why? Because you continue to get to help people every day, and that just gives you something inside that helps you feel good when you're on your way home in the LA traffic. I also want to just say a quick word about Charles Drew, because just like our speaker said, he did have a significant impact in care of patients and saving lives. what he was able to do was finally able to figure out a way that blood could be saved longer. If people gave blood, it would go bad very quickly. But he figured a way that if he separated the blood, which is the red part, and the plasma, which has all the proteins, it's kind of like separating grape juice. You have the water, and then you have the grape juice concentrate. He was able to figure that out, and then when they did that, we were able to store blood much longer and then be able to use it for more and more people because it wouldn't go bad so quickly. So that was a huge contribution because they were able now to store those samples of blood in the blood bank and use it. And there was a story that as he was traveling to give a lecture, he had a terrible car accident. And there were 3 other doctors in the car with him. And the accident was horrible. And Dr. Drew was terribly injured. They took him to a hospital. And there was a lot of talk about whether he actually was able to receive the blood that he figured out how to save. And through years and years of digging and research and interviews, it turned out he actually was cared for properly. And he did receive the care that he needed to try to live, because that was a big point that was always brought up about Dr. Drew's life. But when you remember him, remember someone that just revolutionized and was a key physician in everything that we do today. For me, I'm a surgeon. I'm a physician and a surgeon. And I'm so happy to be able to do that. My specialty, I operate mainly on the blood vessels. So that's something that almost is related to what Dr. Drew did. And if you take all the blood vessels in the body out and line them up, how far do you think it would go? Across the street, maybe down to Santa Monica. Goes all the way to New York and back, and New York and back twice. That's how many blood vessels we have in our body, and I'm responsible for them. So it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of drive, and it takes a lot of persistence. And I'm just so happy to be able to talk to you a little bit about that. In fact, pleasure to meet Councilor Patton. I just left the hospital and did an operation with his son, who's a key anesthesiologist there at UCLA. So, pleasure to meet you. I just sent him a text and said, "Is this your father?" And he said, "Yes." So, full circle. And, inside the operating room, we're concentrating, but for me, sometimes I like to have a little music playing. And it just tends to relax everybody, and it tends to let the case go smoother. Sometimes you hum a little bit, then you go back to concentrating, you hum a little bit, and then sometimes, as you're almost done, you turn it up a little bit and you feel really happy that the surgery was successful, and you'll sing along. And I ask, they say, "Well, Dr. Rowe, what do you want to play?" And I usually say, "Earth, Wind, and Fire." So it's a pleasure to see someone from the band that I grew up with. So, what is the word for today? And I kind of want 2 volunteers. The young lady that did the Pledge of Allegiance, Victoria Rodriguez, and the young man that did the last gentleman, the King's speech, Jaden Long. Could you come up with me? Help me push this across. Just a second. Hey, thank you. I want to stay up here with you. Thank you, sir. All right, so the word of the day, the word that I feel is going to be most important for you as you go through your careers, high school, college, medical school. The word I believe for today is going to be grit. And I feel that's very important in this time. What do you think grit means? Perseverance, definitely. What do you think it means? What's it?
Grit is probably like keep going when things get tough.
Absolutely. And so some, just a little way to remember it and give you some stories about me as we go through it. So first, G. And I think G stands for growth. I want you both and everybody here to have growth. Not just you're going to grow and you're going to be taller than me probably, but growth in your minds. So a growth mindset. You have to continue to learn. You've learned a lot so far. You're graduating. You're going to continue to learn at the next level and the next level, and you have to continue to want to learn. That's going to be very important in your career. And even if you come across something you don't know, say, I don't know that yet, but you're going to learn it and you're going to master it. And I think that's going to be very important for you. I'll give you a personal story. There was this new procedure coming out in surgery. And I had done some work on the old way of doing it. And they called about 10 of us across the country and said, come and down and we want to talk to you about this new procedure. And I went down and we sat in a room all day and we talked about this procedure. And I left and I said, I'm not going to learn it. I don't need to learn it. I know how to do the old way. Was that a growth mindset? No. So what happened? That procedure got more and more popular. More and more popular. I still didn't know how to do it. I said, oh, it's not going to work. I still like the old way. Now, 3 years later, I went to the company. I said, please, can I learn it now? And they said, no, sorry, it's too late. And I didn't have a growth mindset, and I regret it. So anything that comes in front of you, please continue to want to learn and just grow. Let your mind continue to grow. They say we only use 10% of our minds, and so there's a lot left for you to hold. So please continue to grow. Okay, for grit, what's the next letter? G?
R.
R, correct. And R is for resilience, I believe. Want to try it? What do you think?
I think resilience is like being able to like get through like tough times.
And bounce back. If let's say, what would happen if I dropped an egg on the ground?
It will crack.
It cracks. Is that resilience? No. Resilience would be like that ball that we bounce, and it bounces back up. Every time you fall, you get back up. Every time you think that you can't do something, you get back up and you keep pushing. Both of you want to continue to go on to be doctors. What if you get a bad grade? Are you going to stop?
No, I'll keep going.
That's resilience. And what if you have to move? Your parents say we have to move to a different part of the country. Are you going to stop?
No.
That's right. You're going to keep going. So I'll give you a story about a time that I felt I showed resilience. So in college, I had to go to my advisor and get my classes signed. And he would sign the classes, and then I could continue on in college. And I went to him, and I was probably about halfway through, and he said, so what do you want to do, sir? I said, well, I want to be a doctor. And he goes, I don't think you can be a doctor. I said, oh, well, I want to be a doctor. And he goes, no, you can't. I don't think you can be a doctor. You're not smart enough. And I said, oh, well, I was a little bold. I said, I think I am. And he's like, well, I don't think you are. And he said, in fact, if you think you're going to be a doctor, I'm not going to sign for you to take your classes. So you'll just have to leave. And so he had me there. I said, okay, sir, I don't want to be a doctor. And he signed my classes. And the next quarter came back, same thing. We went through this about 5 times. You don't want to be a doctor, do you? It's like, no, sir, I don't. But I wanted to be. And I continued on, and I applied to medical school, and I got into medical school. And at graduation, I had the letter that said, you are accepted to medical school. And I had it in my pocket. And I saw the doctor that kept telling me that. What would you have done?
I would have showed it.
I would have showed it as well.
I should have listened to you two. I didn't show it. And I guess that's why I still remember the story, because I wish I had. Because who knew if he was doing that to another classmate of mine and discouraging that person from being a doctor. But there was no way that it was going to stop me. He wasn't going to stop me. And so there's nothing that should be able to stop you if that's your goal. You continue to push forward. 2 more letters and we're done. I in grit. Inclusion. I think it's very important, especially now, for both of you to not say, oh, I'm going to work by myself and I'm going to work by myself, but you work together. You work together as a team, you work together as colleagues, because there's so much more you'll be able to accomplish if you work together. And so always remember that. I remember someone told me, they said, well, Vince, there's a couple of things you can do. I was getting ready to graduate from medical school and go forward, and they said there's 2 things you can do. You can decide to just go out there and work by yourself, and you'll be just like a piece of coal sitting there by yourself. Or you can decide to go and be in an environment where there's things happening and people are on fire, and you, that piece of coal, when you get in that environment, you'll catch fire too. And I said, I want to catch fire. I want to catch fire. I want to put other people on fire. And so I always decided to work in a place where I was with a team and inspiring. Those other people inspired me. They made me better, and I tried to make them better. Last letter, T. And T is thankful. You have to be thankful. They say if you're thankful, you'll always have enough. Why? Because you won't be complaining. Oh man, I wish I had that. I wish I had this. Oh, I wish. No. You're thankful for what you have. So you always feel like you have enough. Is there anything you're thankful for?
I'm thankful for my family.
All right, wonderful. Jaden?
I'm thankful for my family as well.
All right, wonderful. And remember that. Each day may not be as beautiful as you like, but there's always something to be thankful for. Even if you keep a journal of everything that happened, be sure to write down somewhere in there what you're grateful for and what you're thankful for. And so those 4 things, growth, resilience, inclusion, thankfulness, those are the letters that make up grit for me. And if you have all of those, I think you'll be successful. And you already are, both of you. And I'm very proud of you. Thank you for helping me in my speech. And thank you for the program. Really appreciate it.
All right, let's give our keynote speaker a round of applause again. That was a phenomenal speech, by the way, and I hope you guys really heard him out, because I think if you do follow that, you will be successful. As everybody is here, I'm sure they have some parts of their lives and stories where they've had to implement each one of those 4 things. Just really quick, before I came in here, we were all kind of in the staging area, and I was talking to Mr. Trent Clark. That's the guy in the second row that's really dapper in that suit. And I was asking him basically, how can I get dapper? You know what I mean? But we were just sharing, stories, and one of the things that we sort of talked about very heavily is something my mother used to say to me. And my mother was, huge to me. She's a little lady, but to me, she's 7 foot tall. And that's the reason why I stand here. But one thing she used to always say when I was dealing with some of the tougher times, and I had not such a linear road to get to medical school and to become a doctor. I applied to medical school multiple times. I took the MCAT multiple times. Somebody looked me in my face, basically told me what they told him: you cannot be a doctor. And then they followed up with kind of like I guess in his mind it was fatherly advice. He says, people that come from where you come from, they do other things, and they're good at those things. Maybe you should think about that. But at the time, I'm like, early 20s. I had a little bit more fire to me. I was a little bit brisk. And I wanted to fight it, but I couldn't do that. So again, someone else that was really near and dear to me, they're like, you gotta speak your truth to this man. And I looked him in his eye, and I think he felt like he was bigger than what he was. That's why he said it. And I told him, I said, you don't have control over that. I appreciate what you said, but I'm gonna be a doctor. I did see that man when I graduated from medical school. And some of my homeboys were there, and you know, they're not doctors, let's just say that. And one of them in particular, he's a big, light-skinned brother, he's about 6'3". He's big, and he's been in my life for a long time. And he's like, is that the dude? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, hold on. And he was like, bro, it just really hurt him. Because I think his assumption was that this was somebody that should have been supported. You're not gonna always come across that, okay? And I think two things my mother would always say, be thankful for everything. So when I was going through applying to medical school, taking the MCAT multiple times, she told me, she's like, can you see just the next step? And I'm like, yes. I don't know what 10 steps down the line looks like. She's like, well, I think you focus it in on the one thing. Take the 30,000 foot view and see where you came from. My brother was an off the porch gang member. My cousins were gang members. All that. Grew up in it. She's like, it looks to me like you've already done something phenomenal, right? You went to school, you did what you needed to do, now you're trying to do this next thing. So stop looking at that one thing and be thankful for everything. The fact that you lived, 15 years old, got caught in a situation, gun jammed in my face. I could have been dead. She's like, you have to think and be thankful for all of those things. And I'm like, wow. So when he said be thankful, not only for your spirit, but you got to send a message back to the higher power that you are thankful for literally everything. Your breath, the fact that you woke up this morning, and I ain't gonna get up in here and preach, but the fact that you woke up in your right mind because somebody did. You know what I mean? And I think when you break it down to those tenets, you really can't lose. So much appreciation. The next thing we're gonna actually have our student demonstration by Valentina Carlos and Austin Colson.
My name is Valentino. The heart. Where am I heart?
Here it is. Heart pumps blood through your veins, keep you alive and healthy.
Where am I lung?
The lungs help you inhale and exhale oxygen.
Where am I palate?
The bladder holds your pee until it's time to use.
Where am I pay attention? It leads the waste to your bladder. Where am I take off? The trachea helps lead air to your lungs. Where am I more attentive? Small intestine takes out nutrients from food to make it to energy. Where am I stomach? The stomach helps you digest food. Where am my kidneys? The kidneys help filter out toxins. Where am I liver? The liver helps clean your blood. Where am I esophagus? The esophagus helps food get into your stomach.
That was too cool. Very cool. Excuse me, sorry. Very cool. Now, how many of y'all would have had to chat GPT that? You just got it for free. You didn't have to type nothing. I hope you took pictures. I hope you took pictures so you can cheat later when you see your doctor. Don't be talking about my stomach's over here. The baby just shows you where it is now. It's a test at the end. Lock the doors, lock the doors. Very good job. You guys, it is very hard to be up here. And these are little kids, these are babies, and they're doing this. This is phenomenal. This program is amazing. I just want you guys to just really take it all in, what you're seeing. Try to go a little bit deeper as you watch the kids and understand what you're seeing take place here. Our next presentation will be by Sky Jefferson. Sky has been, give it up. Come on, Sky. Sky has been a part of Saturday Science Academy 2 since the 2nd grade and is now in the 11th grade. So we got a vet here. I'm done for today.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for letting me take up some of your time this morning. While this isn't my first time being in this room, every time is always special. I get to see all these professionals in their field, helping to see what can be achieved through higher education and the generations that will come after me and change the world in a good way. Saturday Science Academy 2 helps so many people like me see that people like us can be someone great, and to never give up on the many, many different fields of science. All these projects this recent session have been great, and I appreciate the focus and the substance of the world and the body that we have. With all the experiences I've had here, I aspire to become a forensic pathologist. I thank my amazing teachers, my friends that kept me up, and the Saturday Science Academy for all the opportunities this program has given me all these years. Thank you.
Okay, so remember that name. Look for her name in the credits on CSI as the consultant. You know she's gonna be balling out. That's where you borrow your money from. Okay. All right. Very good job. Very good job. All right, for our next portion of the program, we're gonna have Dr. Ella B. Washington come up and Dr. Madison Danzo to explain what it means to wear a white coat. Come on up.
Well, good morning, everybody. We're glad everybody's here. What we would like to do to start off is just make a couple thank yous. And once again, we would love to thank Dr. Vincent Rowe for a wonderful presentation. I'd also like to take this moment to congratulate Dr. David Carlisle for being recently selected to the National Academy of Medicine 2025. This is probably as prestigious an award as can be given to a doctor. And before we begin, I'm keeping Madison up here, but before we begin, I'd like to talk and have a moment of silence for those who have suffered and in some cases lost their lives in the pursuit of freedom and civil rights. We've seen that recently in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and there have been other places in the country. We now remember the names Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preti, but there are thousands of people of all colors who have joined to organize and protest to protect all of us. And we need to remember all of them. So, a moment of silence just for a moment. Thank you. So this is our junior white coat ceremony, and it's modeled after the white coat ceremonies that are held in many of the health professional schools throughout the country. It was started by Dr. Arnold Gold at Columbia University in New York in the early 1980s. And in general, the senior white coat ceremony signifies the transition of the student from the learning of the basic sciences of medicine to the sacred duty of medical care. Now, Dr. Danso will now tell us what the junior white coat ceremony means to her.
My name is Madison, and I am a student with Saturday Science Academy of Charles R. Druitt. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our junior white coat ceremony. I have been given the opportunity to explain what junior white coat ceremony means to me as a student and the symbolism involved in the ceremony. As Dr. Washington has explained, this ceremony is held in health professional schools throughout the country to signify the transition from basic science education to care and patients. I have been given this opportunity again to explain what it means. I believe for those of us in Saturday Science Academy, this ceremony serves to celebrate what we have achieved as students and our commitment to the process of learning and education, which leads to a lifelong goal of continuous achievement through hard work and dedication. As Saturday Science Academy students, we are aware of an opportunity we have been given in this journey towards an ultimate goal of success in life. And we are thankful Charles R. University for making this opportunity for us, and we look forward for the next time when we can give it back to them.
Another round of applause for Dr. Washington. Dr. Alexander. And now we're going to come to the portion of our program that's the presentation of the certificates. I'm going to have Shahara Thompson and Alan Salgado come up.
Morning. Starting with pre-K kindergarten, we have Caroline Andrade. Next is Gymnasium Eva. Nahita Ozigo.